Dr. Trubin, and he's going to talk to you guys about IBM.
About my career and IBM and some other stuff. Okay. I will speak loudly, but I have a kind of accent because I'm Russian, so bear with me. I will try to do my best. Unfortunately, my computer doesn't work. You know, it's a visit effect. It's called in Russian. Everything is ready, but when it's really needed, it doesn't work. Be prepared. You could have the similar situation in your competition. So you always have to have some backup plan, right? So I printed, but it's already black and white printed with my presentation and some other stuff, so I will have to use just a paper instead of just a video. But anyway, a lot of stuff I published on my blog and video blog, the YouTube channel, and my technical blog. So I have a few of my business cards, IBM business cards, and on the back you could see the link, I mean just a URL to my professional blog. So it's there. You could use it. So I'm going to speak about my entire life for the 15 minutes, if it's possible. Okay. Yes, I printed it. So I'll try to show you one by one. Yes, I came in from Russia. I was born in Russia, and I was at high school as well, thinking about my future. And the high school I went had a math and science program. I'm trying to translate it because it was a Soviet Union, so it's kind of hard to find the right translation. But something like math and science program, and I was very good at it. And so when I graduated high school, I decided to go to some very good university, and I found one. It is a Leningrad Polytechnical Institute. It's a technical university in St. Petersburg, but it used to be Leningrad. And what my passion was biophysics and bionics. Do you know what bionics means? Bionics. I know maybe it's a wrong pronunciation. It's a science just to see how nature does. For instance, I got my bottle, right? But a simple task for you, but how to make a robot to do the same, right? So it's a biomechanic, and my term it was bionics. So at my question, so I tried to find a good major in a Polytechnical Institute, and you know, actually one of the piece of the picture, it's grasping device which used some kind of some like people do. I thought about it, but when I got to the preparation class, you know, it used to be some classes you should prepare to get in a university, and I looked at their kids there, and you know, I was disappointed. I didn't like them. Why? Because I was like a punk. This is my picture. You could see. I had a long cut. Long haircut. I played guitar. I played Beatles and Bob Dylan. We shall overcome, etc. So, and I looked at their very nerdy kids, just with glasses and just doing something on the blackboard, not whiteboard. It was a blackboard and chalk. So, and decided, probably it's not what I'm going to go. So I changed my mind, and I found something more kind of loosey, and I thought it's better fit for me, and it was mechanical engineering. It was mechanical engineering, and I studied, and actually I started studying, but I was again disappointed. It was too easy for me, and so in one semester I tried to transfer back to their it's called it's not physics exactly, it's engineering, engineering science. You know, there is a major like engineering science. It's a physics, mechanics, but very advanced one. So I tried to transfer back, but the bureaucracy in Soviet Union was so hard to transfer to do anything. So, and I almost got terminated from the university. So I stuck with mechanical engineering, and now I'm happy about this. In 2.5 years, actually, I was lucky because their new specialty or new major was established, which is called robotics. So I moved to this area, to this department, and finally I graduated as the master degree. I got master degree in mechanical engineering, but specialization was robotics. And so, of course, I changed my appearance. Sorry for this kind of picture, but I enjoyed just being in the college. You know, it's a very good period of time. You will understand me, but maybe you already have it. But in their university, it's so nice to be in lecture between good girls, and yeah, it's the best part of my life. So I enjoyed the student life. And, but you know, between years, it was a summer semester, and I had an opportunity to go to the archaeological expedition, and I worked there, digging the earth. You see? That's okay, again. What did I find there? It's just the summer activities, you know, student summer activities, and I was just a worker at their archaeological expedition in the south of Russia. And what I found there, what is it?
1967 Dodge.
No, it was a watermelon.
Watermelon.
No, it's a joke, of course, because we didn't have much to eat there. But it was a lot of watermelons there, so it was our diet. But also I found there my future life. So again, the best time in my life, it was a student time. So be prepared. But then, you know, I graduated and then I started working my first work was at the university. I started working at the university at the data center as a system programmer. It was a it was a clone of the mainframes, IBM mainframes. Soviet Union, for some reason, just cloned what actually was made or invented here in America. It's a mainframe computers. They call it differently, but basically it was a mainframe. IBM 360 and 370 mainframe. So I got interesting knowledge about this, and about 7 years I worked there, and I fell in love in computers. Definitely, it's not robotics, but it's very close. But anyway, I didn't forget about robotics, and actually I had idea to get my PhD in robotics. And yeah, it's hard to see, but I had some lab to study mechanics of the robotic systems. And unfortunately, I cannot show you on the TV, but and about safety. You just mentioned the safety. With the robots, you know, it's dangerous creatures, and I got hurt several times. For instance, I tried to measure something because my dissertation was about finding the way of passive adaptation. You know, there is an active adaptation. A sensor could feel something and to bring the grasping device in a certain point. But then you have to grasp something, and if your sensor is not very accurate, it could do like this. So my idea, my theme was to find just their equations and their solution the area in which it would be safely grasped. So I had to prove my theory. Actually, the model was like this, and you could see it's just about this bottle, right? It is from my dissertation. This is a pretty complex six-dimensional model. It's not only just depths and widths, but also some angles. 3 by 3, it's 3 and 3, so it's a six-dimensional model. I built and used some differential equations. It was a part of the differential geometry. It's a very interesting science. Try to remember it. It's a very beautiful science. And so I used this to describe this three-dimensional model. The idea was to create a model just not only grasping, but also giving to another device. Because it's not only manipulating, there is a purpose of this, like you do. You need to grab something and just to move it or to give it to some other device. It could be another robot or another mechanical device. So I built a model, and I had a pretty complex equations, and I built the result. Theoretically, it's a kind of area. It's actually input for their active adaptation for computer. Computer now knows if it gets to this area. I calculated everything would be okay, and there is no the problem to grasp anything. So, is it too complex? Could you get it? I mean, my speech. But I had to prove my theory. You know, I had to make some experiment, just a real robot. That's why I showed you some real thought about some real robot, and I had to measure, to put some measurements, and to find this area just experimentally. To do this, I have to mount some sensors to measure something, and I had several times hit by robot because, you know, I had to be under the arm of the robot. And suddenly, robot just, there was a kind of problem with power, and robot, it was a hydraulical big robot, very heavy, and so it hit me just like this because of power fluctuation. So I little bit afraid of robots still. So yeah, be careful. Okay, so I'm done with my dissertation. I got my PhD and I started teaching. I was a professor at the university. I taught this. You could read, if you can, their courses I taught. It was very interesting. It's a computer-aided design of computers, computer-aided manufacturing stuff, flexible production system, which is it's a complex with robots and other tools, just to do like a car, for instance. I visited. I had some partnership with some their auto plants like Volkswagen, and also I've been at the Russian clone of the Fiat. The Soviet Union created a big plant. Just actually Fiat, it's an Italian company, helped to build a big plant there. And I was there and trying to explore some robotic way to collect. I mean, to assemble the cars. So it was a fun. I was like this, you see, younger than now. It's a faculty here. So I was happy. And then I had to move to Russia, from Russia to US. I moved to US, and actually one more thing. Before I moved, It was a very hard time in the Soviet Union. It was already Russia, 90s. It's a wild 90s in Soviet in Russia after Perestroika. So the salary of the professor went like this. I couldn't even feed my family enough. So I tried to find a way to work somewhere else. For instance, I started doing some programming, developing, and also I found a way to earn a lot of money. It was a brokerage company. You know, it's a new market for Soviet Union. It's absolutely new idea, stock market. You know what stock market means? Did you try to predict stock market? It's very hard. But I was invited for some brokerage company just to do this. Igor, you are good at mathematics and statistics. Give us good predictions so we could buy and sell and to trade in the stocks. And I was questioned about this, and I tried. And I tried because, but you know, it's so unpredictable, especially in Russia that time. It's so up and down, and I almost give up. And my manager, or actually it was the owner of the brokerage company, told me, Igor, we don't need accuracy. We just need a very good picture to show, very good graph of prediction to show our customer. Then, in order to just buy our stocks or our packages. So I was even more disappointed, and I give up because I don't want to create just a beauty picture without any sense. So it was my kind of interest, but it was a lot of money. You know, it's anyway. I moved here. And I start my other career from the scratch, and it's absolutely different because my language was much worse than I have right now. So you still can understand a little bit right now, but at that time nobody could understand me. And the most important, I couldn't understand much of what I was hearing around. I have to guess all the time. When I got my first job at the Capital One Bank. As a capacity planner, technology services, IT department. And my problem was to understand any questions and to get the right answer. But mostly I guess. I could say yes or no, yes or no. Sometimes it was, you know, it's a 50-50, so I could be lucky. So, and I survived. I picked up a little bit language, and the people around told me, hey Igor, you're getting smarter and smarter. Why? I was the same, but my language skills is better. So people, you know, you're not very bad basically about everything. But it was a language. Language is important. That's why actually I didn't go to the university to teach, because I was afraid to bother students with my bad English. Anyway. I started my new career. The specialty is IT capacity management or IT capacity planning. What I do right now. What it is. Just a couple words about this. The big company like insurance company, like the Capital One Bank or any bank, have a lot of servers. It's going to be thousands of servers. And the big server like mainframe could cost $1 million. And the typical problem, if business is growing, like Capital One grew like crazy at that time, they need to predict when you need to buy another server. It's another prediction. So I was good at it. So I tried to apply my skills, and I started predicting at that. And that time it was accurate and appreciated. And I wrote a few papers about this. One of them that's called Exception-Based Modeling and Forecasting. You could find this paper using my blog. It has one. I put 2 paragraphs about my bad experience in Russian stock market when I tried to predict, but I was told, don't be accurate, just give me a pretty picture. So, but now I was happy because it made sense. It still makes sense. So, prediction. That's my another question. And I wrote about more than 10 papers like this. I published it. I made numerous presentation. So I was very happy now. Still happy to present anything. And I even got my best paper award in 2002. So it proved I got my new career successful. Okay, and what's interesting? You know, robotics, one thing, capacity management, another thing. It's kind of absolutely different. But mathematically speaking, I used my kind of approach in my dissertation to their analyzing computer systems. And I wrote about this in another paper, and actually I kind of invented a new way to capture unusual behavior of computers. It's another kind of area. It's kind of area which shows you unusuality of computer behavior. It could be CPU utilization, it could be disk I/O, etc. If it's something unusual, it's kind of a learning behavior engine type of thing. It could be proactively notified by management, or really something unusual happened yesterday or just a couple hours. We need to do something, and this is my kind of passion right now. And I'm thinking about creating their open source computer program to publish it. I already started it. You could find it, some elements of this in my blog, and the blog URL is there. And also, again, it's good mathematics. It's again, it's kind of calculus or differential equations again. So, you know, what is good? Why mathematics is good? Because it's universal language. It could be applied for robotics or for computer magic. So I leveraged this and got very good result. I worked for different banks, starting with Capital One, SunTrust. I had another project, and also I was working for Capital One. I was outsourced, by the way. You know, there's this new kind of movement, outsourcing some stuff. I think outsourcing is good if it's still kind of inshore outsourcing. And I was outsourced, and I become IBM, and I was satisfied about this for a while, and now I moved to that department, not outsourcing. It's just a consulting. Now I'm an IBM consulting. I'm a senior IT architect. And I do some project for several months. I just had a project for Morgan Chase Bank, and just to help them to create a capacity planning process of their IT department. So I'm IBMer, I'm in consulting, and I'm still miss robotics, definitely. So that's why I'm here, because I like what you do. And you know, maybe somebody remember me. I visited your last year competition. I went and I recorded using my camera, and I put it on YouTube. So you might go and watch how it happened last year. Hopefully, if you invite me this year, I could do another recording if you don't mind. So, but not only, in my YouTube channel you could find, for instance, I plan to show you today some movie about robots, because I had a project in Atlanta with a Coca-Cola company. But I had a free time and I went to the Coca-Cola museum. Have you been anybody in the Coca-Cola museum in Atlanta? You've been there?
Stayed across the street from it 4 years ago and never saw it. In competition.
Yeah, please, if you go there, go there. I mean, if you're in Atlanta, it's a very good idea. And did you see there, Robert?
Yes.
Yes, because they have a kind of a shop, you know, to bottle Coca-Cola, to transport it, and to pack it to the boxes, just whole cycle. The museum is literally a little plant to produce the bottle of the Coca-Cola, and I got it finally. And in my video you could see it, and I enjoyed looking at the very good advanced modern robots. It was not like those who hit at me. it was much more beautiful. So I was missed it. So please invite me in your next competition, and I will enjoy it. Thank you so much.